Hello all you season reviews and blatantly nasty comments about season reviews. Season 5 here? Okay then, let's just get into it this time.
Come on down south again, meet some friends of mine.
A show the characters watch says shit. It's a big deal apparently. Anyway, this leads to the town going overboard with saying the word shit. The shitting situation has a connection to the Black Plague, so the kids have to find out that connection. Not even gonna hide it. Highlight is Mr. Garrison being awful.
Called you a fag because I'm gay, and that means I'm free to use the word fag. So piss off, you fag shitter. So hey there, shitty, shitty, fag, fag, shitty, shitty, fag, fag, ba-da-ba-da-ba.
I seriously debate who is worse between that shithole and Cartman. Whether it be him with his song or him with Jimbo, he's just so shit. I love it.
See, you got beeped. You mean you have to be a fag to say fag? That's right.
Well, that's not fair. I should be able to say fag.
Hey, you didn't get beeped.
Uh-oh.
Well, guess we learned something new about you, Jimbo, you friggin' fag. You want to make out or something?
I usually like South Park's stance on curse words and foul language. Having the characters use words like fuck to describe their shock that a TV show is going to use the word shit. Showing the shitting irony that most people in life swear, but then a lot of people get offended by it on TV.
There's no sand in my vagina!
Boys, watch your language! Shit!
I find it amazing they got this episode to air with how many shits are said. This definitely pushed the boundaries for TV at the time, and that's something I consistently appreciate from South Park. This isn't one of the funniest South Park episodes, but its plot is some good shit. I like this shit.
Come on down south again, meet some friends of mine.
Not even going to risk saying the title of this episode in case my channel gets taken down for it. Oh, and it's the morally right thing to do too. That definitely weighed into my decision. This episode has the boys being members of the Scouts and their leader, Big Gay Al, getting fired due to him being gay. He is then replaced by a pedophile. We are also introduced to Jimmy for the first time, and Timmy is jealous that a new handicapped kid is getting more attention than him, so he tries to do whatever he can to stop Jimmy being popular.
This is very warm. Thanks a lot, Tim. Well, I'll see you around.
Timmy!
There he is, kill him! Thanks again, Tim.
I do like Jimmy as a character, but this doesn't stand out as an amazing showcase of the character to me. It works as a fine introduction, I suppose, but an episode like Fish Sticks I think showcases his traits and personality much better. This episode also feels kind of progressive for its time. It feels so much like it's saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? You'd fire someone just for their sexuality, despite the kids liking them, and because it's South Park, they take that concept and make it extreme by replacing him with a pedophile.
Now, here's a little scout telling his parents that Mr. Grazer took naked pictures of him. Look what happens. Oh, no! Oh! Oh! Oh!
This episode doesn't stand out massively to me. I like it. It's just not an all-time favourite.
Come on down south again, meet some friends of mine.
Now taken off of the streaming site I typically use to watch the show, I instead had to resort to DVDs to see this episode in a decent quality. I find it fascinating this episode aired, and there was little to no problem, as far as I can tell at least, but Cartoon Wars was fucked over big time. 200 and 201 even more so. 200 and 201 aren't even available on the UK DVD of season 14. The plot is simple. The boys join a cult, Stan understands it is a cult, and tries to save his friends from it. Best joke without a doubt is all the kids having no hair and dressing the same, and nobody knowing who is who. I can't for the life of me find Cartman amongst them.
Butters, I thought you were Kyle.
No, I'm Stan.
You're Stan? Where's Kenny?
Who are you?
I'm Kyle. Guess who I am, you guys?
I tend to like episodes that delve into cult stuff.
It's time to drown ourselves in the reflecting pool. However, the reflecting pool is a little more shallow than we originally thought, so to drown ourselves, you will need to lie on your stomach, face down, until you die as such.
They tend to not be the funniest episodes for me. I just enjoy the stories, and I enjoyed this one. I like it.
Come on down south again, meet some friends of mine.
Cartman's punishment to Scott should have been crueler. Scott Tenorman Must Die may very well be the most well-known episode of this show, or the most loved by the average fan at least. It has Cartman being sold pubes and a constant back and forth between him and Scott Tenorman, both of them being pricks. But Cartman honestly doesn't seem that bad next to Scott, for most of the episode at least. One thing leads to another, blah blah blah, and Cartman feeds Scott his parents. The guy of which we later find out is actually Cartman's dad.
Oh my god! Nya 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 nya. I made you eat your parents. Nya 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 nya.
Okay, so my opinions on this episode will not be popular, but it's an opinion, everyone has them. This episode I like more for how it built the future of the character of Cartman, more than I actually enjoy the episode itself. I love the ending, but I think like 80% of this episode is pretty damn average for this show, though average for this show is a masterpiece compared to most stuff on TV. While the ending does make this episode significantly better, I rarely want to rewatch this one, because outside of the pony dick biting plan, I just find it pretty bland.
Come on, pony, bite the wiener. Bite it. Come on, good pony. That's it. Now bite it off. Bite off the wiener. Good pony. Oh, no, pony, who like that?
Eric, are you training that pony to please you?
No, I'm trying to teach it how to bite someone's penis.
I like the episode, but it's the ending that makes it worth watching for me, and it's what really added to Cartman's character overall.
Come on down south, fucking and meet some friends of mine.
These behind-the-scenes episodes in cartoons feel weirdly common. Simpsons and Family Guy did it, American Dad did a play. This does it, but in a way where it makes a little more logical sense. Terrence and Phillip are just actors. The boys try to get Terrence and Phillip to mend their broken broship. Meanwhile, the town is overrun by environmentalists. The environmentalist stuff kind of feels like something from season 2, so as you can expect, not much to say as I wasn't a big fan. The main stuff with Terrence and Phillip is relatively interesting, and the fact that the characters at this point in the show feel more developed than in the first few seasons, that helps it quite a bit. But at the end of the day, this isn't an episode I go back to much, and I think some other shows handled the documentary stuff much better. Fun, but relatively plain take on a concept I think they could have done much more with. I like it, but nothing more.
Come on down south, fucking and meet some friends of mine.
Cartman gets a theme park, while Kyle gets hemorrhoids. I'm sure there's someone out there that hates theme parks so much they'd rather have hemorrhoids. It's a very basic idea, and I love how Cartman gradually has to allow more and more people into his theme park, completely destroying his entire reason for buying one by the end of the story. One of my favourite story structures for South Park is just Cartman being shitty, and then it all biting him in the ass at the end. It's simple, but because it's so easy to get irritated by him, it makes his defeat and tears all the more satisfying. This episode brings back the move along guard. That's a decision I'm happy about, because he was one of the highlights of the Finger Bang episode.
I'm so pissed off!
Move along, sir. You're vandalizing private property.
Hey, you used to work for me! God damn it, you son of a bitch!
The episode is consistently funny and memorable. Just watching Cartman be Cartman is fun at this point in the show. It really feels like the writers know what they want from his character now. I really like this episode.
Come on down south, fucking and meet some friends of mine.
Guys, I need to know what condoms are before I review this episode. I don't think I know what they are, and my 14 kids really need to know it for sex ed. Ha! Just kidding. I'm a major virgin. Nobody's taking this V-card, let's be real. Mr. Mackey and Miss Chokes on Dick. Fuck! Also, they teach the kids sex ed.
I'm pretty sure I took the penis, and what the hell did I do with that damn thing?
Over 20,000 Americans will contract a sexual disease today. 12,000 more tomorrow. And the reason is that you girls wake up in the morning and say, it's not going to happen to me.
This causes the boys and girls to go to war with each other. The boys versus girls plots on this show tend to be pretty damn good stories and humorous. I think this is one of the shows that handles those types of storylines best, because it uses children for it and it feels natural for the characters. The writing doesn't suddenly make the characters be shit, like some other episodes of cartoons do. Mr. Garrison teaching sex ed is the highlight without a doubt in my mind. Can you tell he's still my favourite character at this point in the series?
And reply.
And it's as simple as that. Any questions?
All right,
I really like this episode, it's just ridiculous in the best ways.
Come on down south, fucking and meet some friends of mine.
Honestly, it might be a towel smoking Potts, but that's probably not the dumbest character in this show's history. The entire character feels like it's taking the piss out of characters like the Underpants Gnomes and Mr. Hanky. Adding to the ridiculousness is how the characters have to get involved in government shit to get their game console back. Their lack of care to the entire thing and just wanting to play games is super entertaining for me, because I relate.
Can we please just get back to playing our video game, please?
I'm afraid not, because your Comic Game Sphere is at their base.
Can you tell us where that is, please?
You mean to go right into their base? Of course. The entry code should still be in Tally's memory banks. You could sneak him in there and recover his TNA. Great plan.
The episode doesn't have a complicated plot, it's just a really dumb fun episode with a lot of jokes stuffed in, and a storyline that's funny in itself.
Get it!
What the?
Throw it down!
Oh, all right. Have your way with me if you must. Go on, fulfill your sick pleasures.
All right, let's go!
Where are you going?
I really like this episode, and if you don't like this episode, you're a towel.
Come on down south, fucking, and meet some friends of mine.
The first episode of the show to air after 9/11. Before this episode aired, people were wondering, well, how's South Park going to cover this? The boys are shipped to Afghanistan. Cartman does Looney Tunes with Osama Bin Laden. I really don't have many comments on this episode. It's serviceable, but one of the weaker ones in the season for me, without a doubt. The best bit was probably just the opening bit with the kids wearing the masks.
It's a gas mask, Butters. Yeah, if you don't have a gas mask, you're gonna get smallpox or anthrax.
What? Oh, Jesus. I don't want to get the thrax, fellas. What do I do?
There's nothing you can do except stop breathing.
Stop breathing? Yeah, you can't get it if you don't breathe. Oh, all right then.
The other good stuff comes from the boys and their Afghanistan counterparts, but this episode really doesn't stand out to me beyond being watchable. I think this is likely an episode that's one of a lot of people's favourites, but it just doesn't do it for me. I think it's mediocre.
Come on down south, fucking, and meet some friends of mine.
I suggest tube-like foods to eat with your butt like a banana, ice lolly or lightsaber. Kenny gets his photo taken where his ass is where his face should be, but a couple with butt faces show up and make this little joke more serious, since they're looking for their lost son.
You put Kenny's picture on a milk carton?
Look at the descriptions. Brown eye.
That isn't funny, Cartman.
Oh, it's so completely funny. It's insanely funny.
No, it's not, Cartman. You know, there really are couples out there who are missing children.
No, there aren't. Jesus, grow up, you guys.
I think it makes sense that Cartman seeing something so goofy would be what he considers the funniest thing ever, which starts his plot of trying to make himself laugh since he thinks he's unable to. The cheap shot at the end of the episode was kinda funny and dumb at the same time, with the whole Ben Arsfleck stuff. Weird that they'd use him again so soon after this, and change his design up. The most amazing part of this episode to me is just they somehow made this a plot and it works relatively well. There's a lot of awkward interactions used for humour, and I think it's pretty decent throughout. I like it, but there's not much that stands out.
Come on down south, fucking, and meet some friends of mine.
Introducing us to Kyle's cousin Kyle, walking stereotype which Kyle hates and Cartman finds hilarious. This episode also gives us a plot with Mr. Garrison destroying the plane/flight industry with his new invention. It might have to go deep inside your asshole, but it's still better than dealing with the airline companies.
Are you tired of corporate airline companies treating you like a worthless sardine? Tired of ridiculous lines and horrible security at airports? Well, now there's an alternative to airline travel. It has taken the country by storm, and already 2 million have been sold.
Kyle's cousin Kyle is... wow, okay. He makes me smile whenever he says anything, and it's because of how all the other characters react to him. South Park might, well it does, have a bunch of stereotypical characters. This Kyle is just on another fucking level. Just seeing the Kyles together, or a Kyle and Cartman interact, is hilarious.
I just found out that in World War II, some Jewish people were sent to concentration camps.
Yeah, they were, Cartman.
Oh, and see, I didn't realize that. But I understand now how you might have thought what I said in the classroom was a racial slur. But see, I had no idea.
You did too.
And I'm so glad this isn't this character's only appearance in the show. The entire Garrison plot is just hilarious. Him not understanding why someone would want a seat instead of a pole/stick thing deep in the ass. The invention itself is all just so well done.
Sure. Well,
It seems all the buttons on these front and rear flexi grips are also found on the side of the vehicle. Yep. Well, so they don't really do anything. Right. So then couldn't I just order one that works without going in and out of my ass and mouth? Well, I guess you could. Huh?
What's that?
What did he say?
This episode is pretty funny all the way through. Sometimes the Kyle stuff can be a little slow, but the characters' interactions make it worth watching. Having one of my favourite B-plots in the entire show, and introducing us to a hilarious occasional character, I really like this episode.
Come on down south, fucking, and meet some friends of mine.
Giving us a Tolkien plot, he's always been called Tolkien. Take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, because you're a racist. It also has Aslan, who really likes his finger being pulled. So here we have a Tolkien feeling like he doesn't fit in, and a bunch of rich celebrities moving in. The celebrities happen to be black, which the adults of the town, being the idiots that they are...
Hey, what are you doing? If you're gonna ride the bus in South Park, you're gonna have to sit in the front.
Yeah!
Yeah, that's where the first class seating is.
Yeah, how do you like that, Richard? It's very nice, actually. Yeah, I'll bet it is. Very, very comfy. Uh-huh, looks like it.
They do a lot of very poorly thought out attempts to get rid of the rich. Does not come across like they're trying to get rid of the rich. Tolkien lives with lions at one point. I really do not have much to say about the Tolkien side of things. It just reverses the typical story of the poor kid being the one left out and wanting more, by him being left out and wanting something more humble.
Oh, because we went to graduate school and therefore have more lucrative jobs than most people in town. For instance, your mother is a chemist for a pharmaceutical company, whereas your friend Eric Cartman's mother is a crack whore.
The concept is decent, but I don't think Tolkien gets a lot of opportunities to be funny in this episode, unfortunately. The funny side of the episode comes from the adults not realising how terrible they are. Except Garrison. I'm pretty sure he knew what he was doing all along. He really might be the worst person in the town. I like this episode, it's nothing amazing, but an enjoyable enough watch.
Come on down south, fucking, and meet some friends of mine.
A clever twist on Kenny always dying. Kenny dies in a semi-more important way. So Kenny is ill and the boys watch as he slowly dies. Meanwhile, Cartman gathers baby fetuses and tries to get money for stem cell research.
$1. You tell me, Chuck. Yeah, I didn't think so. You know, I'm just like the fetuses, Chuck. I wasn't born yesterday either. Uh-huh. So you gonna talk to me, or are you just gonna keep bullshitting each other?
So after Kenny's death in this episode, they made it somewhat lasting by having the character gone for almost all of season 6, though they did use his death for a lot of the storylines. Strangely, the episode makes Kenny's death actually kinda sad, which in itself feels like the creators being like, oh, you know this character we kill all the time as a joke? Yeah, now we're gonna make you actually miss them.
Oh, it's all sticky.
It isn't gut-wrenching or anything, but they gave Stan an actual emotional story throughout, and that's not something the show usually does. I kinda like how they took a joke and turned it into a way to show us how each of the boys grieve. The twist with Cartman collecting the fetuses just to make another pizza place is one of the darkest things he has done up to this point. Maybe not on the same level as killing Scott's parents, with one of them also being Cartman's dad, but the fact that it comes across that he didn't give a shit for Kenny, who is probably the nicest of the group to him, it shows he really is always going to put himself first, even if it's just for little things he wants.
This whole time, you were just using Kenny's illness to lift the ban on stem cell research so you could sell your stupid fetuses?
Stupid fetuses? It's my own shakies!
I actually hugged you. I held you in my arms and cried with you.
I figure I only need 100 or so more aborted babies, and I can finish up the kitchen.
This episode does have one of the highlight moments of the show for me. Cartman singing Heat of the Moment, and then the people around him joining in just makes me have a big goofy smile on my face. I like this episode, it's not one of the funniest, and I'm probably breaking people's balls by not giving it a better rating here, but it's all opinions at the end of the day. I think I would have found this episode much more impactful if they didn't end up bringing Kenny back, but I'm glad they did because I love him as Mysterion.
The little boy named Butters.
Well, that's me. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it took guts to have this be the last episode in the season, especially following up Kenny dies. But this episode lets us get to know Butters and his family well. Butters was a character where it was clear at the time that they were phasing out Pip, so that Butters could get a bigger role in the show. Butters didn't exactly have many moments, so there wasn't a huge reason for him to become a fan favourite before this episode, but this episode nails it. We see what initially seems like a sweet, happy family, and it gradually just breaks down into one of the most messed up family dynamics in all of South Park.
Shh, shh. It's okay, baby. Mommy will be with you very soon.
I think that, yep, it looks like the car's filling up with water. Yeah.
But by making his parents so messed up, it shows Butters' innocence and kindness all the more, and makes him extremely likeable and a character that you root for. Containing one of my favourite moments in the entire series, we have Butters' dad yelling his message about how he knew most people thought he was a murderer, flashing the faces of the South Park depictions of these real life people as he gives the speech. It's so fucking well done. I love it.
And so to both of us, people all over town would be saying things like, "You know goddamn well what happened to your kid, so stop acting like victims and confess, you murdering murderers! Confess! Liar! Confess!" You know, and that's what people would be saying to us, and so we just had to come forward and tell the truth.
Although I should say that apparently through DNA evidence it was found out that 2 of the people there weren't actually guilty of killing anyone. So, whoops. If you're from the UK or just happen to know who they are, just imagine the McCann's faces over the top of them. But yeah, I love that scene so much. I love the whole episode actually. It's one of the best in the series for me. I don't want to spoil any of my other favourites in the series that haven't already been covered, because then you might not watch my future videos and I don't want to go down that road.
Come on down south, fucking, and meet some friends of mine.
Overall, best season so far out of the ones I have reviewed. I love seeing introductions and deeper looks into existing characters like Jimmy, Tolkien, and especially Butters. And this season in general I found to have better focus, plots, and humour. Anyway, that is all for this video. Please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting as it really helps out my channel. Short outro out of the way, and until next time, bye I guess.